grid. A green flag will be waved. That is the signal for the starter that everybody's ready. He will then press the red button, 4 seconds approximately of red light, green, and we're off.
25 will be off because Michele Alboreto, I am very sorry to say, is missing from the grid in the footwork. Now, watch the lights then. 59 laps of the British Grand Prix are about to begin. That's it. And Senna gets ahead of Nigel Mansell, and a spin at the back from Bertrand Gachot has spun the Jordan, but Senna leads into Copse. Nigel Mansell is second after a searing start from the Brazilian, and Riccardo Patrese has spun. Well, 2 spinners even before the competitors have done half a lap, and you can see already that Ayrton Senna and Nigel Mansell are pulling away from one of the Benettons. I think it was Nelson Piquet in 3rd position.
Yes, and the starter certainly held the cars on the red a long time as Mansell makes a dive inside Senna, and he's taking the lead. So Mansell in the lead already, made up for a poor start, but I have to say I thought the starter made a bit of a mess of his job there. Alain Prost was creeping badly from the 3rd row of the grid, but I think he checked it and may not be penalised for a jump start. He certainly could be though, so we'll watch out to see if the officials have deemed Prost to have jumped the start. In the meantime, Mansell, fabulous overtaking manoeuvre. He got too much wheel spin, and there was a lot of creeping and jumpingness at the start.
With Nelson Piquet 3rd, and then there is a big gap before the 4th place man, and I'm looking to them now as they come into the complex and out of it for the first time. Down to Luffield, the right-hander. Sure enough, the first 3 are out on their own. It's Berger 4th, one of the Ferraris in 5th place.
Yes, and that gap, I'm sure, was caused by a Schmozzle up at Copse, which put Patrese into a spin. So Mansell through, already pulling away, and Mansell looking pretty comfortable, and the Benetton going extremely well behind Senna.
Mansell leading by nearly a second after the first lap. It's Gerhard Berger in 4th position in the second of the McLarens. Alain Prost is well up. But now look across the circuit and you'll see Prost, and ahead of him, of course, leading the race, Mansell, Senna, and well up to Roberto Moreno.
Yes, Moreno going very well indeed. And Berger in 4th place. Patrese's car, remember we saw him off on the side of the track at Copse. Let's see from his point of view what happened. No, he's behaving himself. Well, somebody bumped him. He got bumped from the inside, no doubt about that. And it looked like Berger who actually made the contact with him. So looking at it from, well, we see him fly over the curb. That's one of the Ferraris going askew. I didn't see which one. And we didn't really see Berger. We didn't see the contact then, but we certainly saw Patrese get launched as the tires made contact.
Gerhard Berger moves up into 3rd position by taking Roberto Moreno's Benetton Ford, and that in turn is being caught by Alain Prost in 5th position as Berger, Moreno, Prost come towards us. Gugelmin is following them. Alesi is in 7th place under the bridge through, and that's a curb camera that's looking at the cars.
Yes, and that incidentally, Berger's overtaking manoeuvre was the first one we've seen in anger at the Vale, which is, of course, the bit on the circuit that was specifically designed to be a potential passing point for Formula 1 cars. So, Nigel Mansell pulling away quite comfortably. Now some 5 seconds clear of Ayrton Senna. Nothing to do here around the complex. It's going to be a matter of positioning himself, and I think Prost's his preferred place would be on the hanger straight. So for that, he has to start the positioning now. I don't think he can really try and dive inside into Copse, unless he can get alongside. Well, if he gets alongside, nope. And if that's cost him some space, he needs to be very tight on the gearbox of the McLaren when he exits the left-right left. Sorry, right, left, right, I mean, of this one.
And it will not have escaped you that Ayrton Senna is within sight now of Gerhard Berger, who has got Alain Prost in fourth position right behind him, and that Alesi in the second Ferrari is catching his teammate as Alain Prost makes another passing effort and is again rebuffed by Gerhard Berger. And you would think that this would enable Ayrton Senna to pull away from his teammate Berger and from the two Ferraris. It's getting very close indeed now for third, fourth and fifth place, Berger, Prost and Alesi. But Senna is not in fact doing so. Nigel Mansell, by the way, leads now by 11.3 seconds, still lapping consistently in under 1 minute 30 seconds. And there he is, completely on his own. He's got an enormous lead now. We're on lap 11, but this is the fight. And Alain Prost.
Yes, and that certainly took Alain Prost totally by surprise. You, I think, Murray and me as well. It took us all by surprise, and that was a terrific manoeuvre, a good opportunist overtaking manoeuvre by Alesi, and that will be quite, in a way, not too bad for Prost, because I would fancy Alesi's chances. Here we see it again. But it was how he came through Bridge Corner that set that up. He was very, very quick through the almost flat-out Bridge Corner, and he pulled right up on Prost there. And if I was Prost, I wouldn't be too unhappy about that, because Alesi can maybe find a way around Berger. Berger's a hard man to pass, and it may be not a bad idea to let the young and hard-charging Jean Alesi do the dirty work and try and find a way around Berger, because there's a chance that between them they might go off and leave Prost with a clear track. And that, I have to say, that thought will not have escaped Prost's assessment of the equation of the various possibilities.
It is my guess that Ayrton Senna has already in this race, as he did in France last week, settled for a high placing. I'm sure he knows, indeed I know he knows, that the McLaren is not quick enough to beat the Williams, so he will be saying second place will do for me because I have 48 points in the World Championship. If I can keep building points, that's good, because every point in the World Championship counts this season, and second place is as good as he could possibly expect given the dominance of the one Williams that's left in this race after Riccardo Patrese' misfortune in the opening lap. Well, Alesi now has picked up the cudgels by hammering past Alain Prost. James says he may be able to give a harder time to Gerhard Berger. We're soon going to be... To fourth goes Prost, and down to fifth goes Berger. Thump, thump, as quickly as that.
And he jumped Berger from miles behind. That really was an amazing piece of driving by Alesi, but highly skilled, and that's put Berger into the pits. But Prost jumped on the mistake because Berger was forced wide as a result of that surprise, and that made room for Alesi. I didn't see any contact, so one would have to think that Berger, unless he bumped to a puncture, that may just be a routine tyre change.
Well, Gerhard Berger has not had the luck this season, to put it very mildly indeed, but you're right, James. It is a routine tyre stop. 6.9 seconds for Gerhard Berger. That's a good stop. You remember in the French Grand Prix, we had that absolutely unbelievable, but we saw it, time of 5.5, 90 miles an hour until he backs off. There's the order. Mansell 5 leads, Senna 1 second, the Ferraris of Alesi 28 and Prost 27, third and fourth.
I wish I could see in Piquet's mirror, because Berger should be looming very large in that mirror. And we might just see a McLaren nose come alongside, because remember, there is Berger, not looming quite as large as I thought, but remember that Berger, new fastest lap there for Mansell. Berger had just previously put in a quick one, and remember that he is on fresh tyres, and he's the only man out there to have, or the quick runners anyway, to have changed tyres so far. Under braking there, now he should be all right. And it'll take him a few laps, and that's Mika Häkkinen, is it? I think, or Johnny Herbert. At Club Corner.
Yeah, it's Mika Häkkinen, and Prost lost it. He will have picked up a lot of dirt and grass in that spin, but he'll soon wear that off at the racing speed and the heat that the tyres generate. But of course, he's now lost touch with Jean Alesi in third position, who's chasing.
That's it on the curb. You see, that was a bad bit of bad error, a little one on concentration, because he'd no need to put the wheel on the curb, but he bounced it on the end of that curb. There is the bit of curb in the background there that he caught it on, and that threw the car, and they do get thrown badly by curbs, and that was a bad mistake by Prost for a man of his experience at his level. But you see, that is certainly... Oh, no, it's Prost with a skew-whiff nose. So it's Alesi. So the Ferrari's in all sorts of disarray. I don't know how Alesi did that. We didn't see that happen. But Alain Prost, I would say, should maybe have done what Hakkinen did with tyres with all that dirt on them. Rather than clean them up on the track, which takes a while, he should maybe have come straight in.
Prost, of course, is in third position now. It won't take nearly as long, or shouldn't take nearly as long, unless the mounting points have been damaged and the retainers have been damaged, to replace the nose on Jean Alesi's Ferrari.
As we see what happened with Alesi. Oh, and he just got his nose run over there, made contact, and that was the Lola that we saw spun off, so that was a contact. And I have to say that that was Alesi being a little bit over-ambitious, trying to pass a back marker at the spot he's made his own earlier in the race, but he was doing it from too far behind, and he just wasn't seen. And you have to say that that was a self-inflicted accident by Alesi.
Stowe corner. 100 miles an hour, out of it into this new section at the Vale, curves left, drops downhill, climbs slightly into that second gear left-hander before the looping right of club. And Nigel Mansell now leads Ayrton Senna by 23 seconds. And although Senna closed the lap times between himself and Mansell at one point in the race, Mansell is now lapping quicker, 128.1 compared with 129.7. But significantly, Prost, who is 14 seconds behind Senna, Prost in third place, is lapping a second faster than the Brazilian now. Berger is up into fourth position, Gachot is in fifth place, and behind him, Stefano Modena is in the points at sixth.
Well, the interesting thing is for Nigel Mansell coming in, so the Williams team are getting those tyres ready for him, and it seems a strange decision to make their tyre stop so late, because it is well past the best time to do it, and they weren't under any pressure. So but the only possible result of that is that and that was a good quick stop, good routine stop, as Senna goes past, waving at the Jordan car in front of him, trying to get past him, and he's having difficulty in getting through. But it may be, though, that they looked at the tyres from the other Goodyear runners and information that they achieved.
Well, you can see how close it is now between Nigel Mansell and Ayrton Senna. Mansell having completed his pit stop in 8.4 seconds, and that shows that all the hard work by the Williams design and construction people at Didcot was worthwhile. But now we really have a race on our hands.
That was close for the Tyrrell there. Whew, dear oh dear. And that was Prost locking up behind, and that was probably why he went for tyres. He flat-spotted his tyres trying to avoid the Jordan. Now, as I say, he could have lost it, just hit the curb coming out of Abbey, that might have caused that, or else it could have been some problem with the car. Maybe they didn't like to hang that out, because normally they might have given him that bit of info as well.
Like a train, Martini is 10th, and then 2 laps down, 11th and 12th, Pirro and Morbidelli. Well, maybe I spoke too soon, because you're looking at Ayrton Senna, but I can tell you that Nelson Piquet has moved up into 5th position to displace Bertrand Gachot from that place. But the Frenchman, Belgian, there's a lot of argument about what his nationality is, but Bertrand Gachot is in 6th place and therefore still in the World Championship points. So what I said applied in principle, and made the revisions to it, and most importantly produced the money to pay for them, as Mansell crosses the line now, and he has completed 58 laps. Nigel Mansell is on his 59th lap. The crowd know it. You can see a ripple of movement around the circuit as the Union Jacks wave. Mansell is almost home to victory.
Yes, and really perfect weekend for Nigel Mansell, apart from the fact that Senna has been picking up quietly 6 points in 2nd place, but it's really been too easy for Mansell, although I'm sure he won't be complaining about that. But maybe he would have enjoyed a bit more of a fight. The Williams Renault has been quite superb, and it's enabled him literally to just get the job done, take it easy, judge his pace to Senna behind him, and really a marvellous way to finish the first half of the season, auguring well for the second half of the World Championship this year, and he really can win the championship. Senna's still quite a few points ahead, but Mansell can chip this away. The car is good enough. McLarens are struggling, and it could be the chance that Mansell has waited for so long to have a real crack at the World Championship.
Yes, Senna will still lead the championship by 21 points, but the way Mansell is chipping away at that lead, well, watch it, Nigel. He's waving to the crowd, but he's at Woodcote now, and he can coast over the line. Not that he does so. Nigel Mansell wins the British Grand Prix for the third time in his career. You don't need me to tell you how happy he is, and Frank Williams is pretty happy too. Mansell waves both arms out of the cockpit. Now one, and Senna is stopping. Senna is stopping. Now this is a really dramatic development. I don't know whether he's run out of petrol, but it will mean that Gerhard Berger is going to come through into second place. Prost will be third, and Senna is going to be pointless.
And a super extra bonus for Nigel Mansell. And in fact, Senna may still pick up points for fifth place, because he'd already completed 58 laps as Berger finishes. But Senna will, in fact, slot into fifth place, I believe. But certainly that's a points bonus for Mansell in the chase for the championship. And there is Ayrton Senna. Must be very disappointed, but he has had luck this year already.
Well, a race is never over until the drivers see the checkered flag. Nigel Mansell has seen it. Ayrton Senna is not going to see it. Berger finishes second. Alain Prost has finished in third position. Now that will mean that Senna should finish in fourth place, because he was further on the last lap than Nelson Piquet, who had already been lapped. But let us just enjoy this if you are a British enthusiast. And Nigel Mansell stops to take his rival Ayrton Senna back to the pits. On your way, Nigel, says Senna with a tap on the helmet. Get off it, he says to the official or the spectator who comes. Well, you know, there has been a lot of talk about bad blood between Nigel Mansell and Ayrton Senna. This proves that there is not any bad blood.
And that also proves that it was a jolly good idea to put that camera on the front facing backwards, because we can get a look at both of them. Crowd have come over the fences. Has become traditional here now in the last few years. And in fact, that's brave stuff by Senna, because you need a lot of strength to hold on to one of those things. And at the end of a long Grand Prix, the arms aren't feeling too strong. But Mansell taking it very slowly. You're aware that it's not a happy thing to fall off a Grand Prix car, and the highly polished bodywork is pretty slippery. But what a lovely scene.
I really like that. Mansell voluntarily stops. He could have driven on. It was the decent thing to do, and as I said, it disproves the belief that there was enmity between the two men. So Nigel Mansell, a very, very justified and a very, very happy winner of his third British Grand Prix, carries home the man who leads the championship still by 21 points. It's going to get closer and closer from now on. We go to Germany on July the 28th, then to Hungary, Belgium, Italy, Portugal, Spain, Japan, and we finish the Grand Prix season of 1991 in Australia at Adelaide on November the 3rd. So there's a lot of spectators at Silverstone. This will do very nicely, thank you. Nigel Mansell wins. The crowd invade the pit lane, and being British, as soon as they are asked to go back, they'll go back. What a wonderful scene. Mansell won the British Grand Prix by 42 seconds from Gerhard Berger. Alain Prost finished in third place. Only those three completed the full distance. Thanks for the ride, Nige, says Ayrton Senna. who finished in 4th place 1 lap down, ahead of Nelson Piquet 5th. Bertrand Gachot completes the race in the points for Jordan with Modena. Nigel Mansell in front of the adoring British crowd, with Monsieur Jean-Marie Balestre. Well done, Nigel. As the strains of the national anthem die down, 3 enormously popular Grand Prix racing drivers on the podium. On the left, Gerhard Berger, receiving the winner's award from His Royal Highness Prince Michael of Kent, Nigel Mansell. He led the championship to 4th place. Nelson Piquet, 3 times a world champion.